Well, a lot of you thought that I wasn't gonna come back. A lot of you thought that I've been hiding in a cave in Afghanistan. And if you thought that, then you were correct. I've been on the run from Sharon Peters and her fake news, as our new president likes to say. But today's not fake news, because today you're listening to Dick in Your Face! That's right, Dick in your face here. This is Dick Dragons, and we're starting off here really quickly. We've got a lot to get into here. We're going to have a fast-paced show. I don't have much time here. It's freezing here. I've moved my show base here to East Saskatchewan, Canada. And we've just got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of snow here in the forecast in Canada. But I'm going back to my roots here, folks. We're going back. And we're doing college football, where that bastard coach Raji Haston, this is where me and him first butted heads. And we'll just get to starting off right there with him. You can't see it at home, but I do have my interface here where we can pull up and take a look at all of his information. And he is the coach at Miami of Ohio, which is a dump if you ask me. And he's really just been doing a whole show job this season. His career record is 22-14, but when you've got an easy conference like the MAC, it's really not that impressive. We're looking here. His longest win streak is an 8. That's for his career. But I tell you what, people, this guy right here is trying to get into the Pac-12, and I just tell you right now, brothers, I don't think that he can do it. He's too busy out there worrying about, how many hookers he's going to end up with at the end of each day. And he really showed this season when he went 0-4, I believe, is the way he started his season out. I mean, I'm looking right now at his top 25, and it's just not very good. He's 0-5 against the top 25 in a college program, a good quality program. They're not going to hire this guy. I wouldn't hire him, just mainly because he's got such a bad attitude. I mean, we went back many times, and you can go on our channel here, WBBQ Sparta 69, nice. And we're looking back here, and, you can go back and look at our previous shows of Dick in Your Face. And, really, Coach Raji, I've offered him an olive branch many times. We've been trying to get some peace, and I want him on the show, and he's just really hateful. He curses me out, and but anyways, the fact is, in about 2 seasons, he's gonna be in the Pac-12. I believe that, even though I don't think he's good enough. I don't think that he can compete, but he's gonna be there, and he's still not a good coach. Let's move on here to people. We're going to go on to Dick's Big Rumors, or as you like to call them, Big Dick Rumors, where Big Dick tells you everything you need to know about rumors here. This part of the show is brought to you by Attorney Financial. They've hopped back on our bandwagon here, and they are sponsoring our show yet again. They are our title sponsors. This is Dick in Your Face, and this is Big Dick Rumors, presented by Attorney Financial. So head on down to Attorney Financial, folks, if you need to learn how to save money. God knows you all need to learn how to save money instead of buying all that meth you've been buying lately. I mean, I know the economy's good, but my goodness, it ain't that good. You don't need to be going out partying on meth, on crack all night. I know here in Saskatchewan, people are still playing Pokemon Go up here. And, man, they really do get going on that stuff. They got that meth that they inject, and they're smoking it out of a spoon. And what a good waste of a spoon. I mean, you're supposed to use a spoon for eating, like, cobblers and parfait and stuff like that. And they're bowling their meth crystals or whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I just remember watching my mom do it out on the front porch every night. And, she used to really smoke that crack, let me tell you what. But anyways, the economy's good. Your money's there. Don't go buy any mess. Don't go buy any, toilet cleaner, whatever. You people know, half this league knows what I'm talking about. And, speaking of drugs, let's get into our first rumor. Coach Caleb Lowry admitted in a text message to me that he would be playing under the influence of hydrocodone. That's right, folks. That is a hardcore drug right there, folks. He's I talked to him today, and he looks rough. And let me tell you something. I'm worried about him. I really am. His head wasn't here. It wasn't in the conversations. He kept talking about how much pain he was in. So I think he's battling a little bit of depression there also. He lost to Louisville. And the fact is, I think he's just overrated. He's got about 15 restarts a game, and he's got 2 games that he's won in overtime. And then you go back and look, he's restarted his damn game about 15 times. I mean, something's fishy there, folks, but he did win a national championship first. You got to tip your hat to him. He's a level 21 coach, and the closest one we've got to him is Jordan Brown, and I really don't know how he's that close, but he's a 19 overall, and I tell you what, folks, and that's some funny stuff right there. Jordan Brown's the second rated coach in this dynasty. Wow, how about that? He's jumped ship to Boston College. Good luck there. We're going to get into this a little bit later. Trying to move the show along a little bit faster, but let me just tell you something. Coach Lowry is at Wake Forest, and I can tell you on the record, he has told me he wants to go to Michigan. He likes to jump around just like he likes to change women a lot. And, he goes from this one to that one to this one to that one. And even throws a little man in there occasionally. He's a wild card. But anyways, you look here, and I think that he's going to go to Michigan for about a year, and then he's going to go to Oregon. That's right. He wants to go coach at Oregon. That's his dream job. It's listed as his alma mater. But let me tell you something right now, folks. He couldn't even list Motlow State as his alma mater. That resume, let me tell you that. Anyways, we'll move on here. But I think he's going to go there in about 2 or 3 seasons to the Pac-12, which is already loaded with Coach Drew Haston, who's doing a fine job at Washington State, if you ask me. We'll get into that a little bit later. But then we're going to keep moving on here because, Tyler Cox, this is his first show on the Dick Show, Dick in Your Face, so we want to welcome your name on this broadcast. Coach Cox, very much respected. He is a veteran of these dynasties. He's always professional, and right now he's got a baby girl, and that's no excuse, though, to delay. That's not an excuse to delay your gameplay. There's an investigation going on to see if he does have a daughter or not. A lot of us don't believe it. I think what he's really doing is just sitting on the couch scratching his balls, just afraid to play because he's afraid he's going to get beat. That's what I think. He got beat by Louisville also. We'll talk about Louisville here in a minute. I don't think Coach Cox is going anywhere. Now, Coach Southard, Andy Southard, he's also new. We welcome your name here, Andy Southard. I am a superior journalist to you. I actually taught Coach Southard everything he knows about journalism. He went to the Dick Dragons School of Journalism up there in Eastern Maine. That's right. Eastern Maine has the Dick Dragons School of Journalism. And if you haven't been and you're interested in going to J School, I highly recommend it. It is part of the Ivy League system. Believe it or not, I actually paid about $6.2 million out of my pocket to a program that said that they promised we would be Ivy School approved in about 5 years, and that was about 10 years ago. So we've been Ivy League approved. For about daggone 15 years now. I'm sorry, for about 5 years now. My math's off. That's why I'm a journalist. Anyways, folks, he's at Memphis right now. I think that he's going to go to Arizona State. I sent out a text message to alert today to folks, and it was a smoke screen. You can't see me because I'm a wild card too. You never know when I'm going to pop out from behind the trees and be like, oh, I got you. I sending out fake news and fake information. That's right, Butch Jones. Fake news lives via text message because right here, this is hard-hitting stuff. My accuracy is 100% correct. Coach Southern will be at Arizona State next year. Now let's go to this slimy bastard, Jordan Brown. He's been released out of his basement. He's roaming the streets this time, folks, and he's been talking a lot of trash that he can't really back up yet. Coach Brown here he's doing a good season. It looks like. Let's look at his career record here at Boston College. He's 28-7, and this season he's 7-2. Somehow they're ranked in the top 25, and Washington State can't even get any votes. I can't figure that one out for me. That's just because there's a bunch of idiots running the committee and voting on that shit. But anyways, he's got this recruiting level. He's 4-2 against the top 25. He's 1-1 in his bowl. I just don't understand, though. He's at Boston College in the ACC, which is the worst conference, and we're going to get into that right now because I'm moving on to Cody Durham. He's new also, and let me just tell you something. He pulled the upset off of Wake Forest, and then he had two trap games and got beat, and really has just embarrassed himself. I mean, he's been doing a good job recruiting, but can he finish the deal? That's the thing. I mean, has anybody else noticed that MTSU is in the top 10 now that he's gone? I noticed it right away, and I think that there's a common factor, and that's that Coach Durham is not there anymore. I mean, golly, your team can't wait to get you out of town. Now Louisville's probably ready to get you out of there. I tell you, I bet they're ready to send you on your way so you can just go back to MTSU. But let me tell you something, Cody Durham. Louisville, they don't want you, and MTSU, they don't want you back either, brother. And I tell you what, I don't want you on my show right now, but I'm just kidding, because here in about a couple of weeks, we'll probably have you on and ask you how you took down Wake Forest and Coach Lowry and forced him on the drugs. You've turned him to the pill, and he's not going to get off of it. All right, Cody Durham, though, is in the ACC. Coach Lowry's in the ACC. Jordan Brown's in the ACC, and it's just overrated. We've got all these teams that are 7-2, 5-3 in the case of Louisville, and for some reason they're in the top 25. And that's just East Coast bias is all it is. I'm on the western side of Saskatchewan, and for those of you who don't know, that's up in Canada, and that's on the west coast. It's in the Plains area. We're close over here to British Columbia. Next thing you know, a lot of people know where Vancouver is. But anyways, you know, it's just a bias is what it is. You know, you've got a team in your Pac-12 who is 8-1 and UCLA, and they're not even in the top 10. And you've got Louisville who's lost 3 games this season, and for some reason they're still up there. I don't know. It's befuddling me, but don't get your pants all up like you're riding a big tall horse there, you ACC fools, because your conference isn't good. You can't beat each other. You can't beat the teams you're playing is what I'm trying to say. You can't even beat Clemson. Coach Durham and Coach Lowry, he probably got beat by him twice and then finally simmed it and beat him in overtime. He can't beat him, and I know Jordan Brown can't beat him. Hey, listen, this shows out to Coach Lowry and Coach Brown. This ain't Madden. You're not good anymore. Let me just lay that out to you first, okay? So the ACC is just awful, and it's just the worst conference. And we talked earlier about how Coach Bastard Haston, Raji Haston, was at a bad, easy conference in the MAC. Well, let me tell you something right now, folks. The ACC is easier than the MAC, so don't act like you've accomplished anything, because you're not. You're in a bad conference, you're with bad schools, and you're bad coaches. That's all there really is to it. I'm going to move on to another coach who's also new to the dynasty. He's new to Dick Dragon's show, Dick in Your Face, and this is the best coach, I think, in the country, and that's Coach Buddy Stevens. One thing that I like to hear, a quote that I remember from Coach Buddy, is he said he's got total control of his field, of his team on the field, but can't control his wife off of it. Let me tell you something. I've never been married, so I don't know the feeling of a warm woman when you lay down at night and you're feeling lonely, and she rolls over there and she puts her breasts in her face and she lets you know that she loves you. I never felt the tender touch of a female as she tends to stroke your leg hairs at night and tells you how manly you are. And I've never got to hold a woman in my big muscular arms before, but Coach Buddy has, apparently. I hope he has, because his wife likes to watch Netflix, and if you're letting your wife watch Netflix instead of playing football, well, we all know what that means. range. So good for you, Buddy Stevens. You're 22-3, and you're a good coach. And I don't know who you are, but apparently you live in Sparta. Speaking of Sparta, this part of the show is brought to you by Crystals. Guess what, folks? We're back. And if you were sitting there wondering what happened to us, well, we were actually playing a prank on you all. We were never out of business. We were just taking a break. We got tired of cooking so many Crystal chicks and so many Crystal burgers. But now we're ready. We've come back from our sabbatical and we're ready more than ever. And we've got a new, fresh look to our building. We actually tried to run a couple of drug fronts. You might have heard of Sparta Bakery. You might have heard of Master's Brew. Well, the only thing that we were brewing was something that wasn't illegal. But we came to our senses, and we came back from our break, and we're back. So if you want to come and get some Crystal Pups, well, you still have to pay. They're not on us. But also, for you folks who don't want to take your money to Kearney and you do want to buy meth, well, we're still at the Wendy's building selling it there. So come on down to Crystals. We're back. All right, so Buddy Stevens, we're talking about this mystery man. He's been to Crystals. He's taken pictures of Coach Hastings, both of the Hastings brothers there in line. They were waiting to get Crystals the day it opened because they're suckers. They fell for the trick. Crystals, they make about a reported $6 billion the first time that they opened, and that's why they took such a long break, folks. They took, a 10-year break, and then they open back up, and then they make another $8 billion. So this last Monday, it was really just a marketing ploy. It's really what it is. We're probably about to lose our sponsorship because I'm revealing the truth. But, I've just been inspired that we will not have fake news on this show and on this channel and on the WBBQ airways because we have a responsibility. We are the gatekeepers. So let that be known that Crystals, you heard it here from Dick Dragons, in about 4 months will go out of business, and then in 4 years they'll open back up, and they'll be open for about 2 months, and they'll make around $10 billion. You gotta always include your inflation there, folks. One person that we want to talk about here that's disappeared, and I wish that he was still a part of the dynasty, well, that's head coach D. Bain. He's 20-15 at Tulane, but, he's in rehab right now for sex addiction because he had some problem there. He played 2 games, and, he brought some recruits up from Mardi Gras, and, he just found the beads and stuff irresistible, and now he is in rehab, and he's been there for 2 years. But somehow he's been playing, from what I understand, the coaching during the games. He sits in his rehab room. They've got a live feed for him, and he calls in plays on the telephone, and somehow it's been working. He's 20-15 at Tulane, and to be at Tulane, I mean, that's a pretty good thing to do at a place like Tulane. So good on you, Coach Bain. Good on you. You've done a great job there at Tulane. All right. Excuse me. All right, folks. Have you ever been in the mood for ice cream and you thought, you know what? I'd like to go to a place that the band director owns. Well, guess what? You're in luck, because here at Sparta, we've got that for you. It's called Scoops. That's right. Come on down to Scoops, where we've got the freakiest mascot of all time, Mr. Scoops. He's gonna come. He's gonna freak your kids out. He's gonna make them cry, and well, yeah, it's going to be awful for them. It's going to be a terrible experience, but the ice cream is apparently good. I've not been there. The time I was going to go, it caught on fire. But that's right, folks. We got everything you want. Like I said, this is American-owned, American scooped, and it's owned by the band director at the high school, from what I've been heard on the grapevine. That's the rumor. So if you want all that in one package, an ice cream store is here in Sparta, and it's called Scoops. And they are presenting this next segment for us, where we look at the top 25. The top 25 coaches poll, brought to you by Scoops. We got number 1 Notre Dame, and they are actually taking against number 2 TCU this weekend. Florida State's number 3. Texas A&M from the SEC is number 4. Kentucky's number 5. Number 6 is Wake Forest from the fake CC. You've got Georgia Tech from the fake CC. They're coming in at number 7. They've got 2 losses. Memphis is undefeated. They're number 8. They're squaring off against the 6-1 number 9 Connecticut Huskies this week. MTSU better off without Coach Durham. Number 10. Number 11 is Kansas State. Number 12 is Ohio State. Number 13 is Miami State. They're 6-2 in the fake CC. Number 14 is Michigan State. Number 15 is West Virginia. They have 2 losses. Number 16 is Louisville State Cardinals, and they are 5-3. So tell me, folks, it's a conspiracy. You tell me how they're in there. I would like to know. At number 17, another 6-3 team. It's South Carolina. They're only in there because their name has SEC at the end of it. At 4-3, the Oklahoma Sooners. They're getting the benefit of the doubt because they're Oklahoma. UCLA from the Pac-12, the best conference in the country. They are number 19 and they're 8-1. Let's look at UCLA's resume here. They beat all these good teams, including Washington State. I don't understand it. They did lose to a scrappy Oregon State team, 28-34. And Oregon State, of course, they lost to Washington State Cougars. Cougar Night, that reminds me, folks, our sponsor, every time the word Cougar is mentioned, we have to mention that this show is brought to you by Wild Wings Cafe. Wild Wings Cafe is right there on the Farragut exit on I-40 in Knoxville, Tennessee, where every Thursday night is Cougars Night. That's right, boys. So if you're lonely and you want the touch of an elderly lady, because you know what they say, women are like fine wine. They age well, and they are better when they are aged, and they have more experience because they're whores. Alright, folks, so go on down to Cougar Night at Wild Wings Cafe. Like I said, that's off the Farragut exit on I-40 in Knoxville. That's our first out-of-town sponsor, so apparently things are looking pretty good for old Dick here. Alright, we'll continue on there to the top 25 presented by Scoops. We've got number 20, Florida. They're at 5-3. They won last week. They were 4-3 last week and beat Georgia, and now for some reason they've moved up the rankings. Riddle me this. 7-2, Georgia Bulldogs. Again, 7-2. Again, 7-2, Boston College Eagles. And at 8-1, Nebraska Cornhuskers. I don't like the Big Ten, but they're 8-1, folks. Why are they not higher than these booty teams? At 7-2 from the fake CC, it's Virginia Tech State Hokies, and at 25, at 6-3, 3 losses out of the Pac-12, the USC, ooh, this is a hard one for me, Trojans. Let me try that again, Trojans. The Trojans. All right. If we look at others receiving votes, California's got 175 votes, and Oregon State's got 26. And nowhere to be found is Washington State Cougars. That's right, folks. Washington State Cougars, where if you come on down to Wild Wings on a Thursday night in Knoxville, Tennessee, off of the Farragut exit, going on to Turkey Creek, we'll have Cougar Night every Thursday night. So come hungry and horny. All right, folks. Moving on here. Our next segment is brought to you by the BP on Bachman Way. If you will, I just got a text 20 minutes ago, and I've probably got an angry person in here. Come on out, Sip. He's going to join the show. This is my dog, and I called him by the wrong name, but his name is Frou-Frou. Frou-Frou's come on out here and join the show. Let's look at the... Here, we got an update. UConn and Memphis playing. 15 minutes ago, it's 7-7 in the second quarter. All right, folks, let me see if we can get somebody to talk to us here. He may not be in the mood. He may be in the mood. I don't know. You don't get this on the Jim Rome show. You don't get this on the Dan Patrick show. We just like to blind call people and see how it goes. And this segment is presented by the BP on Bachman Way next to Hardee's. Have you ever wanted fake urine to pass a drug test? Come on down and get it at the BP, because if you get caught, you're going to get arrested. Either way. So why not take the risk? That's their motto at BP. See, folks, if you take a drug test and fail, you're not going to get the job. If you buy some fake urine, and you might get past the authorities, and you might get past the doctors there. But if you don't get the job. So why not take the risk? Come on down to BP, where our motto is, we have fake synthetic marijuana that could burn your brain, but why not take the risk, because you'll get a good high. All right, let's see if we can get this sir on the line.
Hello?
Hello, Coach Lowry. This is your friend Zick Dragon.
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
We were just doing a segment here, how we were talking about your addiction abuse to painkillers, and I was just wanting to see how things are going.
It's going. It's going.
It's going. I was telling him today, you looked rough and you looked out of it, and I think that you're falling back into addiction. I just wanted to give you some words of encouragement, and also wanted to tell you we just did a spot for the BP on Bachman, who sells fake urine. So, if you needed to pass a drug test to get maybe a manager's job at Bojangles, then you could go down and your addiction notice would not be seen. It would go unnoticed, as they would say. So how are you liking college football so far compared to the NFL?
But you know what? I'm kind of high right now, so I don't really, I can't really answer.
Oh, he's high on the phone. Also, we're very worried about you, brother. Let me just get one more statement from you real quick. You got anything to say about the ACC?
The ACC, no comment.
No comment. He's leaving, folks. All right, Coach Lowry. Thank you. We hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you.
See ya. Oh, my gosh. Addiction right before our eyes, folks. Somebody needs to have an intervention with Coach Lowry. I would, but I'm living in the basement of my grandmother's ex-boyfriend in East Saskatchewan. And so I can't help him out. I'm sorry. If Zick Dragons is your only friend, Coach Lowry, I hate it for you, brother. You're going to fall to addiction this time. Got to hydrate a little bit. When you have a speech impediment like myself, it makes it hard to talk. All right, folks. We've got a Heisman watch coming up here. We're getting ready to wrap up our show here. And, the Heisman is a very fine trophy. So, folks, if you need a fine trophy, get it where the Heisman Trophy is made. Dole Trophies. That's right. Dole Trophies has been making trophies in the Sparta area for 15 years now. They made trophies for the likes of the 1997 Pitching Machine champion Cass Raceway. They made it for the 1999 runners-up Red Turners Little League team. And they also have been making the Heisman Trophy since its inception in the early 1400s. That's right. They've been making them in the Sparta area for 20 years now, but it is a family-owned business that dates back to the early 1400s. They were actually there when King Richard signed the Magna Carta, which was actually a contract that gave the Dole Trophies permission to continue to make the English kings and queens crowns. So there, you didn't know that, I bet, but the crowns and the family jewels, the royal family of England, is actually made right here in Dole, Tennessee. And so get your stuff made where the king and queen of England and where the Heisman Trophy's made. That's Dole Trophies. Also located on the square in Sparta, Tennessee, which is a confusing name. They say Dole Trophies, but if you want to go order it, go to Sparta Office Supplies, where we got everything you need from the 1960s, and it's still priced just as high as state-of-the-art stuff from the 2000s. All right, folks. Well, we've got some interesting look here at the Heisman race. Let's start right now. The front runner is Adam Wilkerson. He's from Vidor, Texas, and he plays for halfback for the Memphis State Tigers. And folks, if we look at this season he's having right now, it's really not that great. He's at 1,319 yards on 203 rushing attempts. He's averaging 164.9 yards per game. I mean, give me a break. That's weak. Second, we've got Jared Bryan. He's a senior who plays halfback for the Kentucky State Wildcats. And, we got another one who's got rushing yards in the 1,300s, and that's just not going to cut it if you want the Heisman Trophy. Next, we have a cornerback. I'm reading this correctly. We have a cornerback from UConn. We'll have to talk to Coach Buddy Stevens about that one maybe next week. I have no stats for him other than he had 223 yards rushing last week. Somebody tell me that. He's a freshman cornerback, as in playing defense. The next person is Jermaine Paul. He's a junior halfback from Boston College, and he is trending downwards. He has 32 carries for 200 yards and 6 touchdowns. He does have 18. Oh, that's his career totals. He doesn't even have 1,000 yards rushing this season. He's only got 984, which tells me that Coach Jordan Brown has been running the triple option. And finally, from Nebraska, junior quarterback James Davis, who has 2,057 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. All right, folks. So let me just tell you something, all right? Dick Dragons have been going through something that I never thought. I've been trying to find a place to build a house and a good contractor. So the contractor that I've chosen is Watson Metals. They're going to build me a nice metal building in Sparta so I can return home to my roots and terrorize all the little children on Halloween and invite them into my house for candy. But Watson Metals is going to make a fine quality house. If you ever need something like a big house, or if you need something like a small house, or maybe you need a medium-sized house, or you might need a house that's just right. Come on down to Watson Metals on Smithfield Highway, across from AAA, across from the Drop and Lock Storage, where Roger Hastings been spotted, and then it's also across from Impact Towing, where we're also selling and cooking meth. Alright, folks, this is time for Dick Talk! My hot take today is that the ACC is also called the fake CC. And the reason is because these coaches just play each other and they think that they're so good, but the fact is they're all going to leave for another conference. And if the conference is really that good, would you not stay? Would you not stay where you were at? You're not going to stay. Do you really think, Jordan Brown, that you're going to stay at nasty Boston College for that long? You really think that? That artificial turf and those ugly jerseys, and you're living in Boston. I mean, come on, man. That's nasty. And Coach Durham, you're going to coach at Louisville, Kentucky? You're going to live in the state of Kentucky for over 2 years? Are you insane? Everyone's headed out to the West. Everyone's headed out to the Pac-12. We know that's what's going to happen. Hopefully, Coach Lowry won't be arrested or die from addiction. We are, we are really thinking and praying for him. And we've not got an update yet from, we've not got an update yet from Coach Southard or Coach Buddy Stevens about their game. But all I have to say is, folks, appreciate you calling in. It's been a good time. And, we've got something going on here. Don't know what's going on. It's been a good time. For all you newcomers, I hope that you've enjoyed the first show. We didn't get it crazy because we were pressed for time. But, folks, Dick Dragons is always correct. Don't doubt me. This is Dick Dragons. Dick of your voice!